Silent Separation, Chapter 4.2, Faith. When Mushan returned to the city, the sky was already dark. Mushan looked at the time on her mobile phone. It seems like she could only leave tomorrow. She had inquired a few hotels in the city, but they were already fully booked. In the end, she found and stayed at an inexpensive downtown hotel. After taking a bath and drying her clothes, it was still too early to sleep, so she got up and went downstairs. Outside the hotel is the most bustling place in White City, Jianggan Road. White City, with its picturesque scenery, is a little-known tourist city. At this time, there were a lot of tourists on Jianggan Road. Suddenly, Mushan remembered the first time she met Yichen at this busy road. At that time, they were already dating. However, when they were going home during their freshman year winter vacation, no matter what, Yichen had refused to give his home phone number to her. At that moment, she was filled with disappointment and sadness. How could a girlfriend not even know her boyfriend's home phone number? Before splitting up at the train station, Mushan failed to coax and pester him to get it, so she panted with rage, turned around and ran away. However, after running for a few steps, she started to regret her action. Why would she be angry? Maybe if she continued to act shamelessly, Yichen's heart would soften. But when she looked back, Yichen was no longer at the front of the train station. After returning home, she began to feel moody, had no appetite to eat, and did not know what she watched on TV. She also started to indulge in fantasy and would go out every day thinking she might encounter Yichen. With Mushan's persistence, they actually ran into each other. That day, it was snowing. He and Yimei, who she had not known yet, were walking across the street. At that time, she simply did not know how to react. To her surprise, they really did run into each other. In fact, she did not harbor any hope since there were so many people in the city. The next moment, she dashed across the road at lightning speed. She threw herself at him and hugged him tightly. It seems it was exactly under this tree. That girl wearing a fluffy white hat was hugging that youngster, who was embarrassed by the ambiguous stares of the people passing by, and shouted excitedly, "Yichen, I know I'll run into you. I just knew it." Mushan closed her eyes. When the relationship had become a thing of the past, the most painful were the memories, which still felt like it just happened yesterday. In a hurry, she took out her cameras. She turned toward the empty space and pushed the shutter button. The photos that were developed were of spacious and empty road. Nobody walked past, just blank space. After the holiday, Mushan became more busy at work. Only Xiaohen was very free. She had just recently finished a column. It was an idea period. She hung around Mushan's office every day, worrying about her marriage prospect. "Shin, you cannot afford to waste any more time like this. You need to know that time is youth and beauty. When you find a man, it is like saving society. In a few more years, it would be too late for the woman, and it is like slandering the man." Furthermore, Xiaohen paused and then mysteriously whispered, "It would be in line with the rule of psychology. Don't you want to sleep in a man's warm embrace at night?" "Xiaohen, you dream that kind of dream again?" "Only sometimes." She pretended to be shy, blushed, lowered her head, and swayed her body. After a while, she became serious. "Shin, you're finding her back to normal now. Before, you act like you were about to be robbed." Xiaohen's ridiculous analogy caused Mushan to laugh. "As long as you don't think about it." Superficial happiness was very, very easy. Laughing and joking with colleague, people would think that she was happy too. And gradually, she would believe that she was happy too. Mushan no longer wants to talk about the matter. She looked at the clock on the wall. It was already 10 o'clock. "Xiaohen, come on, let's go to the meeting." The meeting was the quarterly meeting. The magazine publisher where Mushan worked at is quite big. In addition to Susa, Elegant Color, a well-known women's magazine, the publisher also published a lifestyle weekly magazine. Otherwise, it would not be able to afford to employ 2 photographers. Susa is considered a popular brand in the women's magazine market. Sales have always been number 1 among similar type of magazine. Although sales still remain at number one at the previous quarter, the market share had been decreasing every month. After the editors gave positive feedback on the quarterly result of various departments, she mentioned the main topic, which would be added to a new column. If our magazine wants to distinguish itself, we need to have something different. There are so many similar types of magazine in the market now. Most of the content are repeated, such as beauty, fashion, gourmet, relationship, and life. Besides all these, what else can we do? The editor looked at everyone and corrected herself. Or should I ask it this way, what else can attract a woman? I know, Xiaohan raised her hand and said, men. Everyone immediately started to laugh. The editor nodded her head earnestly. Although Xiaohan usually seems very careless, she's actually very sharp. The editor no longer kept everyone in suspense and turned on the slides. On the screen was the theme Elite Man. We publish women's magazine, so wouldn't it be very strange to write a special topic on men? A colleague questioned about the direction. I'm sure everyone have heard of the old adage opposite attract. The men's magazine use women on their covers. Why can't women magazine write about men? The editor replied. After everyone discussed for a while, the editor said, anyway, the market sales is what matters in the end. Hence, let's temporarily do 4 special to assess the response from reader to decide whether to continue with it. Let's hear everyone's opinion. What about the candidate? I have already chosen 4 candidates. I'll continue talking about them, so let me know what everyone thinks. When the editor clicked the mouse, photographs of the 4 young men appeared on the screen. Our choice of candidate would not be those beyond our reach, such as sons from influential family and highly eligible bachelors, but elite from different profession and good reputation. They are young, outstanding men, and the crucial point is that they must be handsome and single. Isn't that the recent award-winning architect? Yes, that is correct. The one on the left seems very familiar. Everyone was pointing here and there. Suddenly, Mushan saw a familiar silhouette at the upper right corner of the screen. How could it be him? Someone in the room shouted out, "Hey, isn't the one in the upper right corner Loi Yichen, who is also a guest host of that TV program Legal Time?" That is him. The editor nodded her head. Those who watch the local channel should know that he is one of the guest hosts, since the program has pretty good rating. I propose to put him in the first special, Senior Staff Lee suggests. He's already on TV, so he's relatively well known and can easily become an overnight success. Yes, I think he has won a very high-profile major commercial lawsuit in the province recently. It is a very good selling point. Someone immediately agreed. I think being high-profile is not the crucial point. The important point is that his appearance is a lot more outstanding compared to the other 3. Hence, it should attract the attention of female readers. The editor nodded her head. I think so too. Really? So awesome? Mushan heard the newly hired fresh graduate Xiaosu sitting behind her mother in a low voice. Are you jealous, little kid? Editor Huan, who sat next to him, laughed and said, There's no need in being jealous, since those people may be able to earn more in an hour compared to what we earned in a month. I have a friend who also works in the legal profession. It is said that this lawyer gets as much as this for one case. Editor Hun put up 2 fingers. Xiaosu gasped, 20,000? He shook his head. Don't tell me 200,000. Editor Hun sneered, multiple by 10. Xiaosu sucked in a mouthful of cold air and kept quiet. Basically, the new column was confirmed, but the key question now was who would be in charge as the editor looked around the room. Who wants to take charge of this new special topic? The meeting room was quiet as everyone was a little eager to try, yet they were also a little hesitant, so nobody said anything at the moment. I will do it. The clear-cut and firm voice belonged to a beautiful but cold woman in the magazine publisher called Tao Yichen. Pretty face, ideal body, and lofty self-esteem, she asserted her wish clearly. Editor, I would like to do this special topic. The work I have on hand is coming to an end, so I have the energy to make an all-out effort. In addition, I have another advantage, which is that I graduated from C University, similar to Loi Yichen and architect Kim Jun-nam. 'Tis I believe that we will have something in common to talk about. Moreover, I have met Loi He once before. Met once before? Mushan looked up and coincidentally saw a raw hint of blush on the face of the beauty who had always been ice cold. She could not help feeling despondent, and unexpectedly a sour feeling bubbled forth in her heart. See university graduate? Big deal. Meijie, who was sitting beside Mushan, muttered resentfully at once. She had always been on bad terms with Tao Yichen, so she encouraged Xiaohun. Xiaohun, why don't you do it? Why let this type of person show off? Perhaps she was too aloof and liked to steal other people's thunder. Tao Yichen was not well liked by colleagues in the office. Many of the colleagues, whether intentionally or unintentionally, isolated her, but Xiaohun and Mushan never joined in. At the moment, Xiaohun jokingly declined. No way, my boyfriend would suspect that I want to betray him. She took a look at the photos of those handsome men. Hey, why do I feel that that handsome guy he looked very familiar? Mushan, don't you think so? Mushan reluctantly smiled. All the handsome guy in the world looks familiar to you. While the discussion was happening, the editor already decided on Tao Yichen. Yichen, I'll give this assignment to you, and I believe you will be able to complete it successfully. I don't know if this can be considered a honey trap. The editor started to joke. Everyone roared in laughter, and a male colleague teased. If our Tao beauty can get involved with the law, maybe our company can save a lawyer fee in the future. Ashin, the editor called for her. Yes. The photography part of this special topic should be quite relaxing, so you allocate some time and try as much as possible to accommodate Yichen. Muzhong was startled, but all of a sudden she was unable to find a good excuse to decline the job. Hence, she could only nod her head and agreed first, and then exchange the assignment privately with Lao Bei later. It would probably be inappropriate for her to appear in front of him now. Currently, Mushan and Tao Yichen were working together on a column called White Collar Apartment. It began with introducing the living environment of a single white-collar worker and the views on life. Mushan was responsible for the photography, and Tao Yichen was responsible for the writing. After finishing work in the morning, Tao Yichen said, "Let's eat lunch together, but I have an appointment with a friend, so you don't mind, right?" "Since you are meeting with your friend, I better go first." Mushan felt a little bit awkward. "It does not matter. If you go back alone, our transportation reimbursement is difficult to calculate." Since Tao Yichen said it like that, Mushan can only nod her head. After arriving at the restaurant, she only found out that Tao Yichen had an appointment with a person called Ge Li, the hostess of Legal Time. "Senior sister, this is my colleague Zhao Mosheng, a photographer. She will be responsible for the photography part of the interview. Ashin, this is my senior sister in journalism faculty in C University called Ge Li, who is now the hostess of Legal Time." "Hello." Ge Li nodded her head gracefully. Mushan returned her greeting. She had an impulse to leave as the world was really small. Ge Li was a typical office lady with stylish dressing, elegant manner, and always smiling politely while talking. Just like a hostess, after chatting for a while, they started to talk about the main topic. "Yichen, you told me your company wants to interview Yichen?" Tao Yichen nodded her head. "Yes, senior sister, can you pose some strange?" "Pose some strange? Why do you need me to do that, since you already know each other, right?" "Well, that was a few years ago, when we hosted a welcome party together. Then he graduated, so he probably cannot even remember my name now." There was a flash of disappointment in her eyes. Mushan looked at her depressed expression, and her heart was moved. "You can't be too sure, as normal people have a deeper impression of beautiful women," Ge Li said mischievously. "Senior sister," Tao Yichen was displeased and asked, "Are you helping or not?" "I will help," Ge Li gave an ambiguous smile. "Yichen does not have a girlfriend, so you should make good use of this opportunity. Don't let one's own fertile water flow into other fields. This is truly a good turtle. Moreover, I guarantee his character is very good." "Senior sister, you shouldn't talk nonsense in front of my colleague." "Okay, I won't say any more." Ge Li now remembered that there was someone else around. "Miss Zhao, please don't mind us, as we always joke around like this." "It is all right." Mushan smiled faintly. She lowered her head and stirred her coffee. "Yichen, why did your company decide to do this special topic?" "Senior sister, if the magazine introduced a young talent who graduated from a prestige university and a successful career and handsome appearance, will you buy to have a look?" Of course I would buy it behind my husband's back, Guli laughed out loud. But Yichen, according to Yichen's character, he probably wouldn't want to appear in a woman's magazine. You may not be aware that I used a lot of effort to invite him to become a guest host. Suddenly she paused for a while and was a little hesitant. But it may not be like that. Maybe he's willing to stand in a prominent spot, she said with uncertainty. Suddenly, Mushang stopped stirring her coffee. Tao Yinjin looked at her and asked Guli, Sister, then how did you convince him? How? Guli remembered 2 years ago when she first met a young Loi He who had just made a name for himself in the legal profession. When she suggested to him of her intention to cooperate with him, that young Loi, who always looked cool-headed, seemed a little distracted. She vaguely heard him ask, Does this count as standing in a prominent spot? Later, he asked her about the rating, which made her feel that this young Loi was not as reserved and low-key as what others have said. She told him in a relaxed manner that it performs fairly well in comparison with other similar programs. Then she heard him talking to himself in a low voice. That means a lot of people are watching. Yes, a lot of people are watching. The number of times he repeated this at that time. Thinking about it now, maybe this Loi also liked public attention. Maybe he will agree. I will help you to ask him. In the end, Guli said. They could not get a taxi at the place that they ate, so they had to walk past a square. At this time, there were many people in the square, especially many sellers promoting their products. Tao Yinjin noticed Mushang had slowed down her pace, so she could not help but urge, Walk faster, it is time to start work soon. Seeing Mushang with the expression in her eyes was a bit erratic, Tao Yinjin could not help but ask, What are you thinking about? It was like she was awakened by her. Mushang sounded a little depressed. Nothing, I was just remembering that a school friend and I were separated once on the street. I had searched him for a long time before finding him. I told him that if I cannot find him, I'll have to climb up and stand on the stage. Why? He had also asked the same question. Mushang smiled sadly. I replied, Since I couldn't find you, all I could do was stand at an eye-catching spot to let you find me. Did Yichen make an appearance on TV and hope that she would see him and look for him? This time, the position was reversed and he was the one standing at a prominent spot. Or does she have a vivid imagination? Was he someone you liked? Tao Yinjin asked. Mushang did not answer. And a long time later, Tao Yinjin seemed to hear Mushang said, It is someone I like very much.